I was praying. I wanted a water that would help me dissolve my crystals, and I wanted healing crises, and I wanted to burn and do all those things. And I went over to this fellow's house, skeptical as always, because I tried all over the world, and I found it difficult to believe that someone could be a 10-minute drive away from me and know anything. If I thought about it, after 6 months of praying, he moved to where I was. So I'd sit down, I drank this water, and I sat there, and I felt like, has anyone here used stabilized oxygen? You know, have you ever taken a big dose? You get the butterflies in the head and all dizzy and hot. You remember that feeling? No? Obviously I haven't taken enough. And, you know, I remembered that feeling. And I drank this water, and I started to have the same feeling. And I went, that's interesting. This must have some oxygen. And I sat there, and my whole body started to throb. 72 beats a minute. I counted them. I thought, that's good. Should we do some muscle testing? Just now? Can I use you, Lil? And Doug, do you want to do it? Because you never trust the man who's talking about a thing. Now, we got two different cups there. One of them was the Brisbane water that was poured through one of Grander's energizing units. And one of them is just straight Brisbane water. And we want to keep them a meter apart because if you actually store them too close together, the one that muscle tests weak, the one full of chemicals and the wrong frequencies, it starts to get entrained by the other water sitting next to it that's being highly charged. And so... yeah, Anna did something with that. Yeah, water is very sensitive, and anything it flows past starts to take on energy patterns. And so if you have ley lines in an area, or you have your different types of electrical devices and your wires in the walls going near your water pipes, you start to set up all sorts of situations there. It gets complicated. But we just want to muscle test these two waters. Now, if you take your different types of water purifiers, and you take the chemicals, the physical chemicals like chlorine, aluminium, and so on, out of the water, you're left with the informational patterns still in the water. The different frequencies are still there, still in what we could term maybe a homeopathic sense. And so even once you've purified that water right down, you end up then with pure dead water. You know, which still steals energy from the body. It'll often steal electrons from the body, and it's seldom, in my experience so far, muscle tests strong. It usually still seems to muscle test weak, unless you energize it just beforehand. And so it's a different conception, but even though you make the water chemically pure, it still has measurable radiations in it, and much of this research came out of Italy. And this is a concept of water that's never really been talked about much, as far as I'm aware. Do you want to mention?
From all the research you have done, well, this device that has been developed, will that neutralize the negative effects of radiation in the water, like nuclear radiation, fallout, and so on?
I haven't seen it yet, but the different lakes, like in Czechoslovakia, that seem to suffer terribly after Chernobyl, where all the fish died, yes, and all of the plant life died, they've been completely rejuvenated. And it's Lake Mushov. If anyone knows anything about Czechoslovakia, there's two lakes there, Lake Mushov. It's in like two parts. And that's been completely regenerated using this entrainment technique, and all the fish are alive again. but I don't know.
But how about the radiation? Is the radiation still there?
I haven't seen any studies yet with a Geiger counter to measure it, and I haven't done it myself yet because I haven't got a Geiger counter yet. It's just something I thought of that's interesting as an offshoot. There's a mixing that occurs between fresh waters that flow over continents, where they enter the estuaries and then they mix with the ocean water. And according to Grander, it's this mixing of the different polarities of water between the ocean and the continental water as it flows down. At that meeting point, this determines the weather patterns, according to Grander. And he hopes to restore some harmony to the Earth's weather patterns, which were very cyclical up until a little while back.
Quite interesting.